Anyway, so what should I say for the grading of this episode? Anyway, so zdravствуйте, меня зовут Richard Gomp. Приятно познакомиться. Anyway, so hello everybody, I'm Richard Gomp of Active podcast version, and as always, you can listen to the sounds and noises of this country from the place near the place I'm creating where I'm creating this recording or this episode. So anyway, so this time, so what I'm going to talk about is a thing related to Russo-Ukrainian war, and which is possible to be inferred, or which is possible to be guessed or to be speculated by the greeting phrase by that Russian greeting phrase, that is because I used Russian greeting, Russian hello or Russian здравствуйте. So which you can you can expect what I'm the topic I'm going to talk about. And anyway, so the title is has the war already been over? People feel bored even with wars. The pronunciation of the word already is really difficult for me. Anyway, so the what I'm going so what I'm essentially what I have thought about is for example not for example like if there's anyone who is still concerned about the Russo-Ukrainian war, I'd like to know who that person or people are. And of course there's exceptions, and exceptions are Russian people, Belarusian people. I'm sorry for my bad pronunciation. Belarusian people may be concerned about things about or stuff about the Russo-Ukrainian war and Ukrainian people. And so in this war, Russian people, Russian troops and Belarusian troops attack Ukrainian troops and Ukrainian people, and including Ukrainian territory. So which is the situation of that war. But actually, so I have called that war a Slavic war, which is because the so belligerents, all the belligerents, or almost all the belligerents are Slavic people. So which is why that is a war held between Slavic peoples. So thinking about which, from my pronunciation, you can understand that I'm a non-native speaker of English language, and to start with, I'm an East Asian person. So thinking, so and living, and I live in an East Asian developed country. So thinking about which, yes, and so so which is why this Slavic war is not related to my life, and anything. This war has completely nothing to do with my life, so well, including the lives of my family. So thinking about which, so there's no fraction of notions, or there's no fraction of concern about this war in my mind. But actually, so why I'm creating this episode is that why I'm creating this episode is that I wanted to ask somebody else the question written in the title, in the section of, or in the title section of this episode. And so as you see on the title, if I don't know whether you see the title, you are listening to this episode, watching or seeing the title of this episode. But actually, so I'd like to ask you that has the war already been over? So that is because I think most of you have I think most of you have known the existence, or the fact that the Russo-Ukrainian war is taking place. But actually, and so the truth is that, of course, the truth is that Russian troops and maybe Belarusian troops are maybe on some military operations, even at this moment, or up at this moment, yeah, that's such a situation can be possible. But actually, so I think almost all of us, or most people have forgotten forgotten the fact that there is a war between not there's a war between Russia and Ukraine. But actually, so maybe most of us most people have known that there is a war in Ukrainian territory. But actually, people are not concerned. People are not concerned about that war recently. That is because so maybe 4 months, almost 4 months have passed since the beginning or since the kickstart of the last Ukrainian war. But actually, so maybe people have grown tired of the news about this Slavic war, and which I think is the situation of the rest of the people, the rest of the people other than the belligerents or the people involved, so embroiled into that war. But actually, so so but that is the truth of this real world. So which I think is which I think is most people have already realized that is because so maybe it's I think it's the majority people are in the I think the majority people are around my age, and I'm in my 30s, and maybe so the most listeners are in their 30s or in their late 20s actually. So anyway, so in their late 20s is a correct English term for for expressing their own ages. But actually, the situation of Russo-Ukrainian war is stuff like that. So thinking about it, people grow bored even with wars, which I think is the truth of this reality. So which is why this time I created this episode, and maybe taking a look at the channel of BBC, for example, or British Broadcasting Corporation. I follow the meaning of the abbreviation BBC. But actually, by taking a look at the channel of the YouTube channel of BBC, you can find out many videos of news which are not related to the Russo-Ukrainian war, and maybe the number of the videos of news related to the Russo-Ukrainian war is gradually decreasing. I'm sorry, I'm confused with which term to be used between the singular term and the plural term. So let me correctly say so, and the number of the videos related to the Russo-Ukrainian war is gradually decreasing in the YouTube channel of BBC, which is a situation of the Russo-Ukrainian war. So, which I think is which I think is a cruel or brutal reality of human societies, which is what I'd like you to understand. So, so summing up, or telling you the summary of this episode. So so if there's anyone who is still concerned about the Russo-Ukrainian war, I'd like to know who that person or people are. And exceptions are Russian people and Belarusian people and Ukrainian people. And which is the writing I'm going to write in the description column of this episode. So if you can't understand if you can't understand what I was talking about, and if you can't understand the title of this episode, please take a look at the description column of this episode anyway. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you. Paka paka.